Hello everybody, it's me, Pottery Demon here. Welcome to another video. Today we got a video that's just three thrown pots. I had one failure today, and so that was kind of interesting. It failed at a really peculiar spot right at the top end of the pot. I think my finger slipped. I haven't reviewed the footage yet. I gotta do like an NFL slow-mo on that, but just to see what I did, because I don't even know what happened. But it failed, and then I came back and I actually had the pots that I ended up being really nice. I thought they were good. And then I have a little object history about like these forms that get completed in the kiln, and so I got that cooking up for you guys. I got another mug coolest memory, and then I'm gonna be filming like a news anchor thing, but that's not gonna be in this video. But hope you guys enjoy. Thank you guys so much for watching. All the best. Strong mentality. Peace. Hello everybody, it's me. Today we got a new video for you guys. Kind of excited. Yesterday I had such a great day, and so today I'm trying to piggyback off that as much as possible. I have plans to make sort of like a news anchor, like a parody about like the persona of Pottery Demon, and so I'll probably be trying to do that later tonight. That's my goal. We'll see how it goes. Obviously, I got a lot of stuff I got planned. I have a computer that I got to put together for streaming, and so that was pretty cool. And so I think I'm going to be making a video of me doing that, right? And setting up the area. But we'll see. I think I got to make sure I take things one at a time, and since classes are going to be starting up here soon, it's going to be pretty my time is going to be very limited on what I'm going to have the ability to do, right? But anyway, that's sort of my goal for today, is get some of this stuff done. And so, I took it right off the pin. Sometimes when you're doing that up, if you're not pushing forward and you lift straight up, right, it can just take that right off. Okay. There you go. Let's get this back on center there. This clay is really nice and stiff, so I have to kind of push a little bit harder when I'm coning it up to get it to move the way I want it to. So I got to be a little bit more careful. Bring that fist down. Great. Open this clay up here. Thumbs go straight down. And I'm always leaving myself a little bit of space on the interior there, so you can see I'm taking my fingers and I'm actually supporting it, and my fingers aren't just straight like this. They're not straight and across. They're hooked, right? And so you really want it to feel like you're cutting through the clay, and then support that finger, right? If you feel like you're pushing the clay, then in my opinion, I think you're doing it wrong, right? Wrong is a hard word, but I've had more success when I feel like I'm cutting the clay rather than just pushing it when I'm opening up my clay there, right? I'm gonna open that thing. Again, I'm bringing that thumb into that palm there when I'm in the inside, like this. It's not out. It's not out, up over here. It's up and into my palm, right? That's when it's going to keep it sort of level with that claw grip forward pull there. At the bottom here, I'm just trying to go straight up. It's a really good first pull there. Right, we're going to call this in, and you can see how that top got a little bit thin, so I'm going to thicken that up. And I'm just hooking my thumb right around that edge and pushing it down ever so slightly, right? Okay, go to the bottom again. I'm gonna put a little bit. I need to get more water here in a second. Really good second pull there. I still got some thickness on the bottom. So I'm gonna do one more pull. I'm gonna actually collar this. You know, to be completely honest, I think I'm gonna do one smaller pull here. Because I had some thickness at that top, right? And so now, on this last pull, I can sort of do just a normal full pull, and then I'll lessen up on the top just because I just worked on it, right? Like, I think if I was to, I'd have to change up my pressure. Oh no. Okay, hold on. We're gonna push this out here. We're really taking this clay to the limits there. You can see I got this one pretty wonky, but I was really trying to get as much height out of it as I could. And that's sort of the goal of these pots, is take it to its limits, you know, and then allow the tree form to sort of find its own like way, right? What I mean by find its own way is, I mean, it's literally going to look a little bit different every time, depending on how this process sort of ends off here, right? And so that's the exciting part about the tree form, right? Is every single tree grows a little bit differently. No tree's the same. Oh, look at this, guys. Okay. Well, I think I gotta do a little twist here, and then we can go back in on the inside. And then we kind of have this thing here. You know what? We'll keep it just like this. For a second, I was thinking I was gonna pump out that middle part here, right? To do something a little bit like have it collapse in on itself, but I kind of like the girth of that top part there, right? That thickness there. All right, so now I'm gonna start making the bottom part here. There we go. I mean, look at that interior too right now. Oh my God, guys. I'm really vibing with how this one's turning out. And then if you're looking at where the roots would be, right, you can see how it was so thin on that bottom, and you could even see that before I started. So that's what I mean, like, that before you even start making the tree, you know, you're imbuing it with a certain pattern or certain aesthetic. And I don't really keep track of that as much as I keep track of the final result. And so that's kind of the fun part for me, is like, oh wow, I haven't seen a pot that has like these weird little roots that pop up and down and dip into each other, right? It's really a fun little process here, right? And then we also running to make sure that we're being really gentle, right, on that bottom skirt there, and then we have a lot of skirt, and so now we're gonna have some really nice floral. Look at that, guys. Again, we're gonna curl this up on the pot there. We're gonna tap those in, curl it up on the pot there, and tap that in, curl it. I can sort of tilt my head so maybe you guys can see a little bit better. And tap that in, curl this up. And so when I'm curling, I'm going right towards the base here, curling that all the way up that side. And so then it gets a little bit more drama to it, where if I just curl it on the top, you can see how that's not really a nice curl, where if I curl it from the bottom up on the pot, like I'm really like having that twist come and carry through the pot there. Okay, look at that. Nice job, guys. All right, now we're gonna take our sponge here, pop down underneath here, get that off, and that's our first pot. What's our time looking like? 10 minutes. All right, I gotta be a little bit faster on the next two. Okay. Here's number one. Damn, boys. Look at that shit. All right, so next up, we're gonna grab another piece right here. I'm gonna grab a chunk of clay. My hands aren't clean, so it's gonna be a little bit messy sometimes. I need to get more. Oh man, I don't have time to do that though. I think on the last one I'll have to. Okay. Alrighty. Push this down. And so what I mean is, like right now, my water bucket here is really thick, right? You can feel it once it starts feeling not like water anymore. You know, that's a good sign that maybe you should swap your little bucket. I feel like when it's really like slurry and slip, it actually makes it harder for me to throw. Whereas if it's really thin and watery, I feel like that works out the best. Also, the slip, it doesn't want to wipe off as easily. And so sometimes when I'm like, don't want to overhydrate, like this slip sits there rather than sort of coming off the pot. Can cause some more problems. And like, for example, a sponge doesn't want to take up the clay, right, as much as it wants to suck up water. And so usually on the insides of my pots, if there's a lot of like clay slip at the bottom, I can't really get it out. And it takes me a few dips in there with the sponge to get it even to lessen. And sometimes I just can't even get it at all. Again, that hook underneath. And you can see, right? Do you see how there is like a little gap here? Right, look at the way my finger just sets right in there, right? That's what you're looking for on that interior, right? That's how you know like it feels like it's cutting, and you'll feel it because the clay will just move a lot easier because you're giving direct pressure right across rather than your whole finger coming out like that, right? And so you'll feel the difference by just doing that, right? My thumb comes up towards the palm just like that. Look at that, really great initial pull. Going in. So right at that bottom there. Oh, I kind of missed. This top part needs some more work. I don't want to get it too thin on the top, so I'm going to work on that a little bit. I'm actually going to collar that in just a little tiny bit. It's thicker on the bottom and it's thin right in this middle, so I got to be careful here, else I'm going to rip it. Push my finger down, right over top. Oh, just on that last little bit. Such a shame, guys. Sorry. Dang, that's really sad. You can see how just it catching on my finger there totally just killed the pot at the very end. It's so unfortunate. Okay, well, with that, I think I gotta wedge another ball of clay, and I'm not gonna meet my time frame on the under 30 minutes. So I'm gonna get myself a new water bucket, and I'm gonna come back with 2 new balls of clay. I'll see you guys in a second. Peace. Hello, everybody. It's me. Today we got a new object history. I'm pretty excited about this one, actually, guys. So yesterday I was telling you guys about how objects, like some of my favorite objects that I've made, are ones in which that they change the form based on how they during the firing process, right? And so, like, this is a great example. So you see this flower sort of shaped thing, right? This was straight up. It was just just a long straight object with this on the bottom here. And when it was initially sticking, or before the firing, it was just hanging straight up out of this pot. And so what's happening here is during the firing process, the clay is getting so hot, right? The pyroplasticity of the clay starts to kick in when you get to a certain temperature and the clay is vitrified, where it starts to almost become like glass, right? And so that's what's happening here, is the weight from the top is actually bending over, keeling over, and laying down on the side of this pot. And so imagine, you open a kiln and you get surprised by the glaze sometimes. Like, obviously you don't get surprised if it's commercial glaze, because it's like, you're going to probably get what you get. But glazes that you mix for the first time are a little bit more like a surprise. And then not only that, like, surface doesn't become a surprise, but with these sorts of pots, form is also a surprise. And so this was a really just fun pot for me to make, just because, I don't really do too many objects like this. And this is a newer series that I actually made while I was still in school, but I haven't been able to revisit it just because I don't have the access to kilns that would be able to, fire this sort of stuff, right? You kind of need to have quite a bit of height, and then it also needs to be a kiln, which it's only my own, because I don't want this thing to fall over, fall off, and hit somebody's work. And so you get some really nice interactions with form here on this pot. But I will be doing more stuff like this. I think that this is the first of, I've done multiple versions of this sort of pot, but I think like it's the first of many in a series of pots that I want to make that are totally just formed through the firing process, right? Like, that's the way to finish it. There's some people that do like something similar with glaze, and they'll have like some kiln stack and stuff. But there's something to me about having the pot be self-contained, and everything that happens to it is only because of its touching its own self, right? I thought that sometimes when you have like a whole bunch of kiln stacks everywhere to like force an object to be a certain way, I feel like that's a lot more planned, right? We're just sitting this flower in and just leaving it, right, to do whatever it's going to do, is really exciting for me. I actually quite like when the pots have a little bit more, they're a little bit more honest. It's not that it's like some sort of lie, or there's no like hidden secret, right, with how the kiln was loaded, right? It's a very honest pot. I've always thought that a cool potter always makes really honest pots. And so I'll hold this up. That's kind of about it for you guys, but maybe I'll hold it like this or something. Maybe even over here, or maybe even just like across like that. It looks kind of cool when it's sideways. Almost looks like a like a alien weapon or something. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. All the best. Strong mentality. Peace out. And we're back, guys. So I got another ball of clay here. And so this is some of the reclaim, and I mean, it feels pretty good, so we'll throw with it and we'll see how it functions here. We're gonna get a lot of this slip off my wheel. Really unfortunate that last one sort of fell apart like that. But again, that's okay. It's part of the ceramic stuff, right? Gotta tame that clay. Okay. This one. Ah, so you can see it's actually pretty short. It ripped, totally ripped here. So what we're gonna do, we're actually going to smash that into the clay the opposite way, because I don't want to trap air bubbles. So like what can happen, right, if you get a rip like that, right, is you're opening clay and then your instinct is to push it back, right? And what you actually might be doing is sealing that clay to have a bunch of air in it, right? And so we don't want to deal with that air. So we're just going to flip it upside down. It's like a spear, so then we're going to push it back down so we're not trapping air in there. If you're careful, you can do it and you won't trap any air, but I'm not a careful person, really. So that's gives me a sign that the clay is actually a little bit short, right? It's not as stretchy as what I thought it was going to be, but that's okay. Okay, there we go. Take some of that clay off the outside there. Make a little spiral. Great. Going up underneath here. And remember that hooking towards your palm, that's what we're doing there. Right? So now I'm going to go up underneath. Alright, there you go. The clay's done. Not done. The clay is, that was a good pull. And again, taking that water and dragging it down the side. And so the clay is really stiff, so I'm going to go right underneath where it's starting to buckle and compress that in with a collar back to the bottom. And so this time I'm going to be a little bit more slow with my pull. I also got to wet my forearm up because it's going to be pushing up against that side. I'm going to go right at the bottom here. Pretty good. Alright, awesome. We still got some thickness on the bottom, but it's I think it's within tolerance. I don't think I'll be able to do another pull. Get this water out, and so you can see, we still can't see the inside, but you can see from the out my sponge, you can even hear the water sound. Right? It's a lot of water rather than a lot of clay. Okay, so now we're going to go up, 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 Look at that, guys. Looks great. Now we're at the perfect time to slowly take that clay and push this out. Oh, guys. Another great pot, guys. So that's 2 good pots today. And 1 failure, obviously. I think too often do some of these people on YouTube make pottery. They romanticize failure, right? Like, you don't want to failure is not good, right? Like, people do the failures and like, haha, I failed again. But it's like, no, like, you failed, like you stink. So like, I'm still not where I need to be, right? Failure is a reminder that you're not where you want to be yet, right? And so that's always should be like a motivator for you, rather than something that's just like whatever, like, you know, it just doesn't just happen, right? There's reasons for it, right? So like, dwell on those reasons, let them sort of eat at your brain a little bit, right? And then get better, right? There's like this thing of a bodybuilder. His name is Tom Platz, right? He was like in the golden age of like bodybuilding or whatever. And he goes, congratulations, you've achieved failure. You're at the bottom. And you know what? There's only one way up from a failure, and that's to win. And obviously it's really like hardcore gym bro energy, right? But I do think that there's like truth in some of these things. Like, people always, they discount that stuff so quickly. They're like, gym bro, sorry. But like, there's wisdom in a lot of aspects of the world. And so don't just discount it because you disagree, right? Like with like the way that they look or the intensity that they bring towards like their body, right? Like, try to learn something from those people, because they're really serious, you know. Like, I think you can learn something from anybody who's extremely serious about something, right? There's like wisdom implanted in them. Even if it's something you disagree with, you can still learn something from those people, right? All right, there we go. Look at that. And even if you're telling yourself right now, like, no, dude, like, what are you on about? I can't learn anything from this group of people in my class or these people at work. Well, you know, they are teaching you that, they're teaching you to cement your ideas, right? You're constantly putting up your ideas against theirs. That's still learning from them, right? Like, even the people that I disagree with the most are actually some of the most interesting people to me, because they get to challenge my ideals. I don't even want to touch this anymore. This one looks great. And so that's like a really good way, in my opinion, to navigate life. It makes it so you never stop growing, right? And that's, you die when you stop growing, right? Like, when you stop striving to become better, I feel like that's when you really die, right? Look at that, guys. Holy spitz. God damn. Dude, we got some freaking killer pots right now. This last one better, hold its own. Better hold its own against these couple pots I made so far. There we go. I think I'm not going to do, you guys are just going to get a mug history today, and then maybe tomorrow I'll show you guys the news thing that I'm working on. Just because since I failed, the video is going to go on a little bit longer than what it should, and so I don't want to just add more to it. Plus, I think I need to get the video posted earlier. I've been having to stay up so late recently. Oh, one of them collapsed, but hey, maybe it's gonna turn cool. I have had a lot of problems recently with like taking too much time on things, and obviously I want to make good content, so it's necessary sometimes, but I also got like a million other things I gotta do, and so I think part of it's for the sake of my other ideas and goals. I need to be able to kind of expedite this process a little bit. So I'm going to, right after I film my object history, and you guys already seen that by now, I'm going to just go right into editing here. And then I'm going to end off the day with the filming of the other stuff, right? Plus I need to take a shower. Oh my gosh. I feel just so freaking dirty all the time. I feel like there's not a single day where I feel like I'm clean. I just feel dirty. I always feel greasy. I think like my skin is always so dry from the ceramics that like my body's like producing extra oils. And so I feel like I just always look like a grease ball. Okay, there we go. This one I feel really good, right? The clay feels so nice. And so I have high hopes for it. We're getting that hook underneath. And so you can see how it's pretty uneven there, right? So we're going to take our finger there. That's okay. Guys, look how uncentered this is right now. It's uncentered, uneven, but all it takes is one good pull to get that back. Look, I had to, in my thumb, it cut off all the stuff that wasn't, oh my, sorry, I kind of messed up, but guys, look at this. Look at those little marks, right? Like this on the side of a pot. It just kind of is cool to me. I love the stuff like that. There's a series I made of cups that was all about emphasizing those moments. I'll cover that edge where I'd set those little like pan rolls, sometimes like trimmings and stuff, all on the sides of the pots. That's good. I got one more pull out of this. Loop up that side. I'm going to sort of collar at the middle here. I feel like the hardest pots for me, or the ones that I like kind of make me frustrated the most, are the ones in which I pull too much at the bottom. It's very easy for my style of throwing, I feel like, for me to pull too much clay off the bottom and have a little bit too much clay on the top, so then when it gets to the top part, paying too much torque on that bottom. Look at that though, guys. What a nice strong way to finish off this freaking pot. Alright, now it all comes down to this. Get some of that off. Okay, how much water we got in there? We could probably do one more. Suck up that water. There we go. And we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 3, 4, 5. Look at that, guys. Alright, so now I'm just gonna let it sit. I flapped over a little bit on this edge, so I knew, like, part of it is, you know, people always say, like, you got to know when to stop, right? That's especially the case with these pots, right? Like, if I was to keep going, right, what I would suspect is going to happen is it's already, there's like no sturdiness on that bottom from the spin in the middle, the twist, the vortex, whatever you want to call it. It's not supporting this exterior, so as I'm getting thinner on the outside, there's just no chance it's going to support it. And so there's only so much you can do before you just like rip through. Thinness is also a deal with it too. Like, you don't want to go too thin or you're going to rip through. Sometimes I always say the rips look cool, but also there's a chance that it's going to freaking cause some ceramic tragedy. And you can see this thing is wanting to actually fall over. So we're gonna twist this back here. There we go. Twist that back. Get up underneath this part here. Great. Look at that, guys. Awesome. Up underneath here like this. Okay. I'm gonna take my little knife, my wire. And again, we're actually going to try to do some longer ones this time. So crossed, not as long. Actually, they're kind of medium, but that's good. Look at that, guys. Looking great, looking great. Again, right up at that base. Curl that up, right? Poke, poke. Look at that. Right up at that base. Curl it up. Poke, poke, poke. Right up at that base. Curl it up. Flip over. Poke, poke. Right up at that base. Curl it up. This one's kind of weird, so we'll do another little curl. Stick. And then we're going to stab there. Stab out. And push that in. Kind of almost looks like a tulip. Take this one. Pull it in. Push, push, push. Stamp. Curl it one more time. Push. Great. Push that in. Oh, it ripped. So we're going to curl that. And then we're going to curl it the opposite way. Look at that. Oh. Like that. There we go. And then push that up. Just like that. There we go. Take that off. Take that off. And there's our pot, guys. It's number 3. And what's our time looking like? 18? Great. I think this video will be like 30 minutes or something. Sorry. Sorry, guys. Freaking great pot, though. Look at that one. All right. Time to take our little image here. Blop, blop, blop. Grab 3 of them. Come over here. Set them down. We'll set this one in the front. Then we'll go get the one that collapsed. Is going to be second. And you'll see like where it ripped, right? And so usually, it's actually on the thrawing lines is where they usually just rip because some parts are thinner and thicker just because I'm not smoothing out the interior lines like some potters do. And so it creates little weak points where water is actually penetrating more through thickness and then it becomes weaker there. But all right, guys. Oh, no. So sad. Just lift it up. And chances are it'll be okay. We just can't be tilting this one. Hello, everybody. Thank you guys so much for watching. All the best. Strong mentality. Peace. Hold on, I gotta pull it out of the interior, out of the vortex. This is coming. Watch out, guys.
So I think I was like a senior in high school. My dad took me and my sister to the Bahamas during the summer, which was like really hot and humid and like a lot. But on the last day, it was so nice. It was like not humid at all, and it was beautiful. And we went parasailing, and I was really scared because I'm afraid of heights. But once we got in the air, it was like so peaceful, and the water was so clear, and it was so beautiful. And we saw a sea turtle from the sky, and it was just like one of the coolest experiences of my whole life.